Let me briefly explain Ordo Ab Chao, the Masonic principle controlling your reality. Ever wonder why the powers that be always incite fear-based hysteria in order to gain more control over your life and convince you to sacrifice your rights? These aren't coincidences, they're carefully designed control mechanisms. Freemasons operate by a principle called Ordo Ab Chao, creating order from chaos. That's not a conspiracy theory, it's their literal motto for centuries. George Washington laid the cornerstone for the Capitol building in full Masonic garb. 14 presidents have been Freemasons, including coincidentally those who immediately followed the JFK assassination and those who were president during 9/11. Masons believe themselves to be the line of the sons of Cain, smarter than everyone else and fit to rule, and symbolically wear aprons over their genitals, representing their freedom from base instincts like sexual pleasure, while ensuring you remain enslaved to yours. Look closer at Gmail's logo, identical to a Masonic apron. Google's G mirrors the Masonic symbol for the great architect. Facebook's design matches the ancient Mason Tubal Cain's mark. This affects you directly. That urge to drink, engage in casual sex, or endlessly scroll social media, these aren't random desires, they're engineered distractions keeping you from questioning the surveillance state being built around you. When people start questioning who is ruling over them, from the French Revolution, which was controlled via Ordo Ab Chao, to the 935 documented lies told in the run-up to the War on Terror with the state of Iraq, which had nothing to do with the attacks, but led to the Patriot Act, which eradicated the First, Third, and 14th Amendments, to the COVID hoax in which the White House and tech companies colluded against free speech, and the Fifth Amendment's right to free travel. Using a disease that has mysteriously disappeared now, and that you only ever had a 1% chance of getting, it is not a conspiracy theory to recognize the master's tools by which they control you. In fact, they coined the pejorative term conspiracy theory in the Warrant Commission report so that laypeople wouldn't question the objectively false public narrative. The Illuminati was founded in 1776, the same year America sought independence. The ground on the Pentagon was broken September 11, 1941. President George H.W. Bush gave a speech that mentioned a new world order on September 11, 1990, exactly 11 years before the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. George W. Bush's inaugural speech, including a cryptic quote from Ecclesiastes 9:11. There is a pattern to their control mechanisms, even if it is not obvious to the average fool, who is intended to not see any of it, or assume their leaders are benevolent. Creating the chaos, then instilling the order, is the modus operandi of the Freemasonic hidden power structure. They've done this hundreds of times and will do it again. They will not tell you what actually happened or what the actual motives for an event were, but when you wake up, you'll have fewer rights, more surveillance, and a more extreme police state. Ted Gunderson was a former FBI agent who served as the special agent in charge of the Los Angeles FBI office before retiring after a nearly three-decade career with the Bureau. Following his official law enforcement career, he became a controversial figure known for his investigations into what he believed were government conspiracies and cover-ups. After leaving the FBI, Gunderson made numerous allegations about what he said was a vast network of satanic cults involved in ritual abuse and child trafficking, government involvement in events like the Oklahoma City bombing, CIA drug trafficking operations, chemtrails, and mind control programs. He ardently claimed that the Illuminati was real, had a hand in Hollywood and child abuse rings, and had plans to enforce a new world order of totalitarian government, using false flags to instill the order. As much as I'm sure you know more than the special agent in charge of the FBI in Los Angeles, this is not a conspiracy theory, it's a fact. Milton William Bill Cooper was a prominent conspiracy theorist and radio broadcaster who gained notoriety during the late 80s for his book, Behold a Pale Horse, and his radio show, The Hour of the Time. A former naval intelligence officer, Cooper claimed his military experience had exposed him to classified information and global conspiracies, positioning himself as a whistleblower risking his life to reveal hidden truths to the American public. Cooper alleged numerous conspiracies throughout his career, including claims that a secretive global elite was plotting to establish a totalitarian New World Order, that the HIV/AIDS epidemic was engineered for population control, and that the federal government was increasingly encroaching on citizens' rights before his death in a controversial shootout with law enforcement at his Arizona home in 2001. In June 2001, approximately 3 months before the September 11 attacks, Cooper warned that a major attack would soon occur on American soil and would be blamed on Osama bin Laden, who he said was not the culprit, after which the U.S. government would use the incident to restrict civil liberties, and that's exactly what happened. Creating chaos and then instilling order is the favorite means of governance from the shadow elite. Will you be ruled over like that? Follow for more prismatism revelations. Your freedom begins with awareness.